Welcome back, students. It's Master Spleen in the building. So I'm coming back from holidays just in time to analyze the current event that has started all around the world, the Ultra Unlock Part 3. This part of the Ultra Unlock will be dedicated to Galarian months. So I already know that you're all hyped about a shiny Berserker, a shiny Surfetch, a shiny Galarian Stunfisk, and all those new mons that will be available as a shiny. But here the question I'm here to answer in this video is, are those new mons that are going to be introduced by Niantic worth it for PvP? And by that we are going to talk about Dubwool, we are going to talk about Fallings, we are going to talk about Gridden, and about Zacian and Zamazenta. Are they worse for PvP? Just down here, as usual, an infography with everything around this event. But without further ado, let's move to the first mon we are going to cover, and that's Dubwool. So Dubwool, typically this is an example of a mon that has amazing stat products, that could be a great mon when it comes to PvP, but that is held back because of a poor moveset. So currently you are going to run Dubwool with Tackle, Body Slam and Wild Charge, and while a combination between Body Slam and Wild Charge looks amazing on paper, having Tackle as a fast move ruins a bit everything. And if you look at the number, basically against the Great League meta, Dubwool is only going to win against Hunter, Jellicent and Munchlax. Yeah, that's not a lot. And in the Ultra League, you have to fully excel it, so up to the level 50, and then you have not a lot of wins as well with the like of Clefable, Gyarados, Gengar, Kingdra, Politoed, Skarmory, Sylveon and Togekiss. So it's a bit of pity because a lot of people were thinking that this mon could have a play in the Great League meta and even more in the Ultra League meta. But just keep in mind, and if you wanna really have fun, just sim this mon with Counter as a fast move, and then you have an absolute beast and you have the Vigoroth of the Ultra League. So here Niantic, Dubwool looks cool, so don't hesitate to put Counter on it in a future update. And that's something I will advise further on for you to keep in mind, is that really only by changing his fast move, this Pokemon could really look super great. So keep that in mind, even if it's garbage as of now. Next mon, it's going to be Fallings. So Fallings, despite the fact that you look at like bug looking type Pokemon, it's going to be a pure fighting type mon, and you are going to run it with Counter, Superpower and Mega Horn for coverage. So I have done the sims with those two movesets, but in some scenarios, if you, for example, only run it with a Brick Break and a Superpower, so as a, let's say, a mono fighting type, you can pick up some matchup. And same if you run it with Brick Break and Mega Horn, because sometimes you really need to land the Mega Horn to kill, and it's a bit easier with Break Break, that is a cheaper charge move than Superpower. So up for changes, but depending on the move set, you could run another things. So what about Fallings? Basically Fallings, it's another fighter. It's going to do a fighting type, what fighting type do in the Great League meta, but my personal opinion, I think that you have better options because by having, let's say, an additional typing, some mons and have more coverage or are interesting resistances. So I do think that Fallings is a bit left behind, for example, compared to Shadow Machamp, compared to Scrafty, compared to Medicham, for example. But it's still an interesting Pokemon, and one thing I would like to highlight is that thanks to having access to Mega Horn, it can pick a Mandibuzz. So that's huge, and that's something that you should keep in mind, that this Mega Horn could help as well to pick up some matchups. So it could be an interesting one for restricting metas, for example. In the Ultra League, then you have to fully excel it, so up to the level 50. So that's going to be a huge farm for a mon that is supposed to be not that common according to Niantic, but same as in the Great League, it's doing a fighting type job. But I do believe that you might have better option and cheaper option. I mean, Machamp, for example, looks as a better fighting type in the Ultra League, and you don't have to fully excel it, so it's always a plus. But if you like the mon, just keep in mind that he has some nice wins, and having access to the Mega Horn Nuke can allow him to pick some nice wins. For example, a Swampert, a Caesar, like a Rose Raid. Some could have some play against some grass type as well. So keep that in mind. Next up is going to be Gridden. So first of all, when I saw this mon, I really thought about having a new Diggersby in town, so a real bulky mon that will be able to take hits and that could survive enough in the battle just to piss you off. But in reality, it's going to be a bit different mon. Grident, you run it with a Bullet Seed, Body Slam, and Crunch, so it can be very spammy. This Bullet Seed, a Body Slam combination looks very spammy on the paper, and if we look at the numbers here, for example, we look at the Great League just down here, and you can see that basically it's going to win again against the water type, and it's going to win against ghost types, against psychic types. So it looks really interesting on paper, and it's going to win against like the league boys. And here two matchups I would like, actually three matchups I would like to highlight. First of all, Obama Snow. So Obama Snow, you will need a good PvP IV Grident if you want to pick up the matchup to survive the charge move from the Obama Snow and to land the Body Slam for the win. Azumarill is a peculiar matchup. What do I mean by peculiar? I mean that if you want to pick up the Azumarill, you need a very good PvP IV Grident, but you can only pick it if it's a fully excel Azumarill. So if it's, for example, the rank 1 Azumarill, you can pick it. If the opponent is running, let's say, slightly excel, so for example a 4 15 15, something like that, then the Azu is going to reach a breakpoint, a bubble breakpoint, and then is going to be able to flip the matchup. And last matchup is the Alolan Ninetales. You pick up the Powder Snow variant, but unfortunately Charm is Charm, and you are going to lose to the Charm variant. So when it comes to the Ultra League, because Grident could be fully excelled as well, so we are talking about something again very expensive, but I do expect Grident to be quite common in the wild. So if you are a good grinder, you could I think easily grind the XL for the mon. And here some nice wins, but I don't think it's going to revolutionize the meta. So it's up to you if you like the boy and you want to bring it to the Ultra League. Three matchups, actually four matchups I would like to highlight here. First of all, Clefable. It's an IV dependent matchup, but if your opponent, same as the Azu in the Great League, is running a fully excel Clefable, it's going to flip the matchup. You can pick the Mandibuzz, but you need to reach an attack breakpoint so for example, you will need to have a not fully excel Gridden, so something like a 5 attack, for example. If you want to pick up the Surfetch, you need to have the best body. I mean, you can pick it depending on the IVs if you are running an Excel, so a level 50 Grident, but in some scenarios you will need to have the best body boost to be able to survive and to finish it off. And when it comes to the Shadow Snorlax, that's the opposite of the Mandibuzz. Then you need to have a very good PvP IV one if you want to be sure to win against all the IV spreads when it comes to Shadow Snorlax. How about legendaries? So Zacian, that's available right now. So Zacian is going to be a fairy type, but it's going to run a super interesting combo. So Snarl, close combat, and play rough. So Snarl to charge quite fast, and then it's all for the nukes. So very interesting, and I mean, if you look at the mons that Zacian is going to be able to pick up, that's quite interesting, and it really looks as an interesting that it could be an interesting, let's say, code breaker in the Great League, for example, for those running double steel. I mean, it's a fairy that can beat steel types, that can beat Melmetal, that can beat Magnezone, that can beat Excadrill. At the same time, you will be able to beat most of the dragons except Dialga that is able to flip the matchup. So very interesting mon, and if you are into the Master League, I will advise you to raid it, to try to find a very good IV one, or at least to have a bunch to lucky trade them later, and to start on building on candies about Zacian, because really an interesting one. And I think that if you are into Master League PvP, that's an interesting addition to your roster. And the next one, Zamacenta. So this one is going to come for next week, and will be available in raid, and a mono fighting type. So very as well quite interesting, because he's running Snarl Crunch and the close combat. So in a way, Crunch to cover this psychic type weaknesses, but even like that, I mean, you still lose to a Mewtwo, for example. Here as well, some interesting things, but I mean, is more doing what you should expect a fighting type to do. So I mean, beating the steel types, you pick up the Dialga with him, you pick up Melmetal, but at the same time, I mean, it looks like less of a core breaker than that Zacian, but still interesting if you like the mon. I mean, but you don't beat Machamp, so I guess that Machamp or Conkeldurr remains, in my opinion, better option if you want to run a fighter in the Master League. So as a conclusion, students, what you should focus on when it comes to this event. First of all, Pokemon, you need to complete your Pokédex, so you should start to find those new mons, make them Pokédex entry. Second advice will be really to try to farm candies and to try to find some good PvP IVs when it comes to Fallings and Gridden, especially if you are into the Sylph game. Then you should as well try to raid for some Zacian and Zamacenta. I mean, even with the free raid pass, at least to have like 2 or 3 in order to lucky trade them. And for more advanced and that hardcore players, I will try to go for the farm, for the Excel farm, for Fallings and the Gridden. And really, my last tip is to focus on double. Don't sleep on this mon. It looks garbage right now, but really, if it gets counter, we have a Vigoroth for the Ultra League. So I hope you like this content, student. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, to comment, and to stay tuned, as we are going to come back very soon. Bye!